They say faith needs no proof, but what if one of the greatest proofs of the Bible has been right in front of us all along? A map stored deep within the archives of a European university has resurfaced, showing something so unsettling, so precise that even the most skeptical minds are starting to wonder if the Bible was right all this time. This is not an ordinary map. It doesn't trace political borders or trade routes. It reveals something far deeper, exact coincidences between ancient sacred texts and the current geography of our world. Every line, every coordinate, every symbol seems to tell a forgotten story, one that connects directly to Genesis, Exodus, and even the prophecies of Revelation. For centuries, experts claimed that many biblical stories were only metaphors. But what this map shows is not symbolic, it's exact. Mountains, rivers, and even entire regions once believed to be mythical now appear precisely marked, as if they had been hidden in plain sight. And the most disturbing part isn't what can be seen, but what someone tried to erase. A section of the map, covered with thick black ink, hides a fragment that connects 3 points on the planet: Israel, the Red Sea, and a mysterious area in the Atlantic Ocean that researchers can't fully explain. Those few who have seen that censored portion claim it reveals a strange shape, one that, according to some theologians, matches the mark of the divine covenant described in the Old Testament. Why would someone want to hide that? Why erase something that could confirm the truth of Scripture? Since its discovery, the map has been surrounded by silence, censorship, and mysterious disappearances. The man who found it, a retired Christian archaeologist named Elias Hoffman, declared shortly before his death that the map was the clearest evidence that the Bible was written with divine precision. Soon after making that statement, he vanished. Now, years later, digitized fragments of the map have begun to surface online, and what they show is leaving scientists, historians, and believers speechless. Because what this map reveals could redefine the history of humanity and prove that everything the prophets foretold was meant to come true. The map that defies science. When Elias Hoffman announced his discovery in 1998, no one took him seriously. They called him just another religious fanatic, a man seeing divine signs in random geographical patterns. But what no one knew was that Hoffman held something in his hands that even the Vatican's top archaeologists refused to reveal. For years, Hoffman worked on biblical excavations across the Middle East. He searched for evidence of the Exodus, the flood, and the patriarchs of old. But it was in a forgotten library in Istanbul where he found a carved wooden chest, marked with Hebrew and Latin symbols. Inside were scrolls, fragments of ancient papyrus, and a map that, according to its inscription, had been copied from an original dating back to the time of Ezekiel, the prophet who saw visions of fire, wheels within wheels, and the glory of God moving across the earth. At first, the map seemed incomplete, but when Hoffman examined it under ultraviolet light, hidden markings appeared, lines and symbols invisible to the naked eye, and what he saw took his breath away. The markings perfectly matched the historical movements of ancient civilizations, and the same routes described in the Bible. From the Garden of Eden to the New Jerusalem mentioned in Revelation, every coordinate seemed to speak. Every Hebrew symbol whispered a warning. Everything is connected. Everything was written. But what truly terrified scholars was this. The map revealed a geographic formation, identical to what some modern prophets call the axis of redemption, a mysterious line stretching from Jerusalem to Egypt, through Mount Sinai, and ending in a hidden region of the Atlantic Ocean, precisely where modern satellites have detected submerged structures. Could this be the location of the lost city Ezekiel once described? Or perhaps the very place where Isaiah prophesied, "The glory of the Lord shall descend upon the earth again"? Science has no explanation, but Hoffman insisted the map contained a prophetic warning, deliberately hidden to prevent humanity from understanding what's coming next. From that moment on, the silence began. The Vatican requested access to the fragments. Universities pulled their digital copies, and Hoffman simply vanished. The coordinates of Genesis. Months after Elias Hoffman's disappearance, an anonymous group of researchers uploaded several scanned images of the map onto the dark web. The fragments were incomplete, yet enough to ignite a wave of theories that divided the academic world. The coordinates, found along the map's edges, matched regions described in the book of Genesis, the very places where the first covenants between God and mankind were made. Mesopotamia, Mount Ararat, and a mysterious land mentioned in ancient texts as Eden Ekalon, or the Gate of Creation. When those coordinates were overlaid onto modern satellite imagery, something astonishing appeared, a near-perfect spiral formed by mountains and deserts, converging at a single point, the center of the ancient Garden of Eden. Coincidence? Or, as some theologians suggest, a mark deliberately placed by the Creator himself, a sign for humanity to remember its origin in the final days. But something far more disturbing lay hidden within the map. Near the Dead Sea, an ancient Hebrew inscription read, "Where the fire descended once, it shall descend again." Biblical archaeologists interpreted it as a clear reference to Sodom and Gomorrah, yet others believe it speaks of a future event, a catastrophe that will repeat itself, not as punishment, but as a divine warning. Beneath that line, a triangular formation connected 3 points, Jerusalem, Mount Sinai, and a third one deep in the ocean, near what scientists today call the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, an area where unexplained vibrations have been recorded since 2012. Could this be the very place where, according to prophecy, the heavens shall open and the waters shall roar, or perhaps the signal that what was once sealed by God is about to be revealed again? Every decoded fragment of the map seemed to confirm the same truth. The past, the present, and the future are all connected by invisible lines, drawn since the beginning of time. The anonymous researchers claimed that the map might be encoded with prophetic dates, and that once fully deciphered, it could reveal a divine timeline aligning perfectly with the visions of Daniel and the Book of Revelation. But before they could release their final report, they vanished. Their accounts were deleted. The servers hosting the images went offline that same night. Yet a few copies survived, and what those surviving copies revealed is something the world was never meant to see: the map and the signs of the end. When the map fragments began circulating online, a team of geographic analysts from the European Cartographic Institute noticed something chilling. The lines marked on the map perfectly aligned with the epicenters of the most catastrophic natural disasters of the 21st century. Earthquakes in Turkey, tsunamis in the Pacific, wildfires in California, and seismic tremors in Jerusalem all fell along a nearly perfect trajectory following the map's central line, the one Hoffman had called the axis of redemption. But there was more. Each point on the map also corresponded to specific dates, and those dates aligned with prophetic events described in the Bible. For instance, the point over Jerusalem bore the number 70, the same number Daniel used to mark the completion of divine judgment upon the nations. The point over Egypt showed the symbol of a broken scale, a clear reference to the words of Revelation, "The measure of wheat shall be altered," and the Atlantic point carried an even more cryptic mark, 6-6-6. Scientists dismissed it as coincidence, but theologians saw something else, a prophetic pattern. A map not of geography, but of destiny, a design predicting the very places where the earth itself would cry out in warning. As more fragments surfaced, strange parallels emerged between the map and certain underground formations that NASA and the Vatican had been quietly studying. Leaked documents from 2019 revealed that both institutions collaborated in a joint mission to analyze electromagnetic anomalies in the Atlantic Ocean. Coincidentally, or perhaps not, the area under study was the exact same location, marked as the final coordinate of the divine axis. Then something even more unsettling happened. Satellite imagery captured a glowing spiral formation, deep beneath the ocean floor, visible only during geomagnetic storms. Believers named it the Seal of the Abyss. Scientists, unable to explain it, simply labeled it an unexplainable interference. Everything began pointing toward a single terrifying truth. The map wasn't just a relic of the past. It was a prophecy in motion, a warning written upon the earth itself, waiting for the appointed time to be revealed. And according to the map's remaining coordinates, that time may be much closer than anyone dares to believe. The warning no one was supposed to hear. Elias Hoffman vanished, but before he did, he left behind a recording. A short audio clip, barely 3 minutes long, found inside his study, hidden within a Bible open to the book of Ezekiel. His trembling voice whispered, "If anyone hears this, the map doesn't show lands. It shows judgments. Each line marks the path of the fire that will descend. Don't search for it. Don't reveal it. For years, the recording was dismissed as a hoax, until an independent research team analyzed the background frequencies. What they discovered was horrifying, a frequency pattern that, when converted into coordinates, spelled a single Hebrew word. Nigla, meaning it has been revealed. That word matched precisely the location of the map's final coordinate, the center of the Atlantic Ocean. And sonar records from that area revealed a massive, cross-shaped formation beneath the sea, stretching over 30 kilometers wide. Researchers studying that region detected an electromagnetic pulse that activates every 12 years. The last one occurred in 2012, and the next is expected in 2024. The same year Hoffman predicted the waters would speak. Since then, the region has been restricted from civilian access. Governments call it a magnetic interference zone, but classified documents refer to it as the seal of God. The most disturbing evidence appeared when a linguist uncovered an additional map fragment bearing a phrase that, once translated, read, "When the waters open and the fire descends again, the heavens will declare what men denied, that the word was true." Suddenly everything made sense. The map wasn't a mere artifact. It was a coded warning, a message to humanity itself. Proof that the judgments written in Scripture were never symbolic, but real events mapped upon the earth long before they ever happened. And just as the world began to talk about the recording, every trace of it vanished. Digital archives were wiped, physical copies disappeared from museums, and satellite servers erased the coordinates. But one image still circulates among believers, a blurry photo of the map, marked in red ink with a single Latin phrase, Finis scriptum est. The end has been written. The final choice. After everything you've heard, it no longer feels like coincidence. The map, the coordinates, the signs, the dates, all of it fits together like pieces of a divine plan written long before we were born. Maybe this map wasn't meant for scientists or scholars. Maybe it was revealed for you, the one watching this right now. Because if you made it this far, it's not by accident. Every line on that map speaks of something the world refuses to face. That history repeats, that prophecy is unfolding, and that the time for doubt is running out. So I'll ask you, are you ready for what's coming? Or will you look away, just like those who didn't believe until it was too late? This is only the beginning. The next videos will uncover what governments hide, what the churches fear, and what the ancient prophets already warned about. Real stories, hidden documents, evidence that few dare to show. Subscribe right now and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss what's next. Because what's coming will shake the faith of millions. This isn't just another story. It's a warning. And if you're here, it means you still have time to open your eyes. Subscribe, share this video, and stay alert. Because the map was only the beginning. What's about to be revealed could change everything you thought you knew about the Bible and about the world itself.